You've tried to lose weight. You've tried to feel better. You've tried to focus, yet nothing sticks. But imagine this. Imagine waking up energized, confident, and in control. The weight is gone. You look great. You feel unstoppable. You've got clarity, focus, and the momentum to keep going. Now ask yourself, what would it feel like to finally break through and never look back? It's time to live life alive. With over 30 years as a doctor of chiropractic, a transformational coach, and elite athlete, I'm here to help you discover your potential, design your path, and deliver the results that last. Now let's get you living the life you were meant to live. If you like what you're hearing in this video, and I've done this is part of a series, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos. And as always, I look forward to chatting with all of you in the chats and in the direct messages. So with that, let's get into this week's video. It's all about the exercise to lose weight. Cardio versus resistance. This is one of the biggest questions I hear besides diet is what really needs to happen. As we stated initially, losing weight, putting together that program is more than just one item. It's like the spokes in a wheel coming together to make that wheel function. This is the spoke that's about cardio versus resistance training. Which is better? Which do you need? Which don't you need? Or do you need both? We're going to answer those questions here. First off, what I want to let you know is cardio. Cardio is for burning calories. It's not building muscle. All right, so we need cardio for that purpose. It also has tremendous heart benefits, health benefits, but we're not here to discuss that. But I can make a whole nother video on that. But just our purposes with using it in weight loss is to increase the calorie expenditure that we have. Now, cardio could be as simple as you walking around the block to start, and then gradually over time increasing that distance. It could be you hitting the treadmill for a run, hitting the rowing machine, swimming. It could be you putting together a circuit training program where you're circuit training at a pace where you get your heart rate up to where you're actually winded. And that's burning calories. You're not going to do that with great weight to do resistance training. But we need the cardio to accomplish these things. And like I said, it can be something simple in the beginning, such as taking a walk around the block. But there needs to be movement. And it's so many people want to kind of sell you on a program that says just do this. You don't have to work out. I've seen more commercials on that, YouTube videos on that, and people are just, it's nonsense, to be honest with you. And that's why these people don't get results, or they initially get results because there's a change in the calories you're burning, the food you're taking in maybe, and that gives you some initial results, but they don't last. It's very quick to happen. It's an initial weight loss of, water, losing muscle mass, things like that. So we need cardio in there, but cardio doesn't mean you have to go run a marathon. So let's please get our heads wrapped around that and understand that from the beginning. It could all be something as simple as playing pickleball, which a lot of people I talk to lately seem to be doing, including members of my family, which is great. I mean, it gets you out of the court, it gets you active, it gets your heart rate up. That's wonderful. But just activity in general is very important to your success. After that, we jump into resistance training. Now, resistance training is your weight training, but it could be something as simple as body weight. It could be resistance bands, resistance bars, things like that. It doesn't mean you have to run out, join a gym, and become a bodybuilder. But the difference is with resistance training, we're working the muscle. We're forcing the muscle to develop. And with that, we're keeping muscle mass and not losing it with our diet and losing it with the attempt to lose weight so the number on the scale looks better. We're actually looking physically better because we're maintaining our muscle mass. And then also as we progress, we can move it to build muscle mass. And this, again, helps you feel better. It's amazing how much it feels better, how much you feel better because your muscle mass helps support your skeleton. Also, increase muscle mass, increase metabolism. You want to burn fat. That's the whole purpose of being in a weight loss program. You don't just want the number on the scale to go down and you look like a skinny fat person. You want to have that muscle tone to your body. You want to look healthy. You want to look great. With that comes all the other benefits of clarity and focus and energy, because now you're feeding the body what it needs, but you're also working it the way it needs to be worked. This doesn't have to take your whole day. You don't have to live in a gym for 3 hours a day. Like I said, it could be body weight. You could be doing squats in front of the TV with just body weight. You could be doing push-ups. You could be doing sit-ups. You could be lifting something light like resistance bands. You don't even have to go to a gym. I mean, eventually, if you get to that point, you want to do that, that's wonderful. Just do it the right way. And that's a whole nother video and a whole nother topic. But there are correct ways to train where you're helping the body, not hurting it. And again, it doesn't have to be 3 hours in the gym. This is just getting things going, and getting you headed in the right direction and helping you help yourself. And that's very important in this whole grand scheme of things when we put this together. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, look, you don't have to do any resistance training because there's a benefit to why you're doing it and getting you to the goal you want to achieve. I'm not going to say you don't need to do cardio because there's a benefit to why you're doing it and what you want to achieve. When you put them both together, it's very powerful. Put them together with the nutrition, like I discussed in the last video. I could write a book on the correct way to do that. And that's why working with people one-on-one becomes so successful, even as a group with people, because I can answer questions and I can better tailor your program to you. Now, this is not the begin all and end all of what we need to do. There's still more to go into. As I'll do in my next video, I'll discuss much more of the ways of the wheels of the spoke. The next piece in putting that together. It's only when you start to put all these pieces in play that you can make progress with your program, that you can achieve what you want to achieve the goals you've set out to achieve. Whether it's looking great in a bathing suit, it is getting into beach weather. We're kind of there. People want to look great to go to the pool, to go to the beach, to go to the cookout. And this helps you get there. It doesn't mean you can't eat the things at the cookout. It doesn't mean you can't have a hero sandwich or a pizza, but it doesn't mean you can have them every day, 5 times a day. It's everything in moderation and done correctly will still yield you results. What we are so bad with seeing today is all these overweight people and out of shape people running around in pain, inundating doctors' offices, complaining about they're in pain. They can't focus and they're glomming down these sugar-laden coffee drinks and having energy drinks and eating so much processed garbage that they're doing nothing but gaining weight. And that's not what we're looking to accomplish. We're looking to go the other way. So if that's what you want, that's what we do. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's all these other people who are telling you just need to do one thing. Like, just add this to your diet or take this out of your diet or I'm not going to knock all these other things I've seen advertised. You can't sit down and pretend you're walking. That's not cardio. That's not going to, I understand how they pitch it, but again, that's not the answer. That's not the solution. It looks appealing because it's easy, but it's not the answer. If you really want the answer, if you want to accomplish your goals, this is how we start to put the plan together and become accountable to it and become accountable to those great results you'll get and making those adjustments as we go. But definitely you need cardio. You need resistance training. And again, it can be simple. It doesn't mean run out, join a gym. It doesn't mean run out and run a marathon. You can make time for this. And I'm just as busy as anybody else, but you can make the time. It doesn't have to be 3 hours and 4 hours a day dedicated to this. And now this consumes your whole life. It doesn't mean you have to eat bushels of broccoli and raw and chicken without spice or anything. But we do lay out the plan. I do lay out the plan for you that will help you achieve your goals quicker. But you do need these components if you want to succeed. That's a very important part that so many people look for the easy way out. There is no easy way out with this. And that's unfortunate, but that's reality. So with the next video, I'll address mindset. And from there, we'll start to really tie the wheel together and tie everything we need together so you can get where you need to get.